Okay, here you go, guys. A little short video of the Wingspan retracts that they were asking me for on the F4-U thread today on the RC groups. I'm trying to do this real quick for you guys. From the pictures it was hard to see. So here he is. Don't have the robo struts on it yet, but just plug it into a receiver real quick. That's it extended. They're really quiet, which I kind of like. They're not real loud like the other retracts I've seen. You hear a lot of grinding noise. These guys are quiet. Okay, as I was mentioning earlier, these little dip switches that are right here, there's two of them. Let me get something I can point with. There's two dip switches right here, on and off, and what it's talking about is one dip switch will actually control the reverse direction of the motor in case you can't do it through the reverse channel in your programming on your radio or dip switches on a simple radio. The other dip switch is to induce a 2-second delay if you want them to come up at different speeds. You know, one up and then the other one comes up, and vice versa. It kind of simulates hydraulic action like a real airplane does. That's what that dip switch right there is for. The worm gear on the inside is really thick and robust. It almost looks like I'm gonna guess, I can't get in there and mic it or nothing, but it's at least 1/8 of an inch thick, as opposed to the other worm gear we're used to seeing. I kind of got it off video there. That worm gear right there, that drives it up. It's driving a piston. Kind of focus on here. You can kind of see the piston that's riding in the slots. It'll ride in the slots. That little brass cam, I'm trying to get it in the camera here. You can see the brass cam right there. That brass cam is what initiates the rotation. See if I can hold it right there and rotate it for you so you can kind of understand it a little better here. And the robo strut will actually fit over this and a 5/32 wire inside. There's two grub screws. Where are they at? You can kind of see them right there. Not the best video here. There you can see it. This is the part that rotates right here. There's the grub screws for 5/32 wire. This is the part that rotates. It's pivoting in this housing right here, and that cam is on the bottom of this leg right here. So as it rotates it. That's where it gets its 90-degree rotation and locks back solid here, like, you know, Robart pneumatics we've all seen before, the larger size pneumatics. It's solid. Very little free play. That's all the free play that I can wiggle in the wheel. A little more than I thought there would be, but that'll probably tighten up some once I actually get a robo strut here in a few days and get them fitted and on here and so forth. Pivot point right here. These retracts are from here to the back right here are about 3/4 of an inch longer than the LX gear. Grab one here. Here's my burned up one. From the back of the motor right here to the actual edge here, this unit is 3/4 of an inch longer. I'll move the video camera up in a minute and show you they'll fit. I thought we were going to have to modify the plastic wing spar, but with my airplane flipped upside down, it looks like they'll fit. It'll be a tight fit, but they'll fit if we move them, if we mount it just a little further forward, which will put the strut location, if you were to imagine where the strut is, the strut will end up falling somewhere like right about here, like toward the leading edge here, so the gear will be a little further forward, which will help it from nosing over on step. Okay, I'll do that for you guys one more time, and then I'll move this up to the airplane, kind of show you how they're fitting in there. But they're really quiet. The actual They don't make a lot of noise. If you can hear it in the video, I'll be quiet. And they are 100 degrees, so they got a forward sweep to them. So it's definitely going to help, just like the E-flights. Do a shot there. Maybe you guys can see it a little better, see how close I can get it. That cam right there, it looks like there's a slot on the inside here, and there's a big brass arm like a cam gear sticking off right there, and it engages the side, which causes the rotation of the center part right here. It's rotating. That's where the rotation action is coming from. Okay, now let me move this up to the airplane. Unplug this retract. Turn off this radio. Okay, here we go. There's the standard in there. You can kind of see right there is the plastic spar, and the motor's like, I'll zoom in here, right down on it. If these guys are mounted, zoom out here again, right here. If you mount them all the way to right here where this indentation is for the wing, for the front gear strut I was looking at, I had it from the picture earlier, right there, there'll be this back piece right here just clears that, which means this pigtail out here will have to be kind of bent over kind of tight, but it'll rub up against that, but they will fit. If they're mounted further forward, it'll probably put the strut, if you can kind of see where the existing strut is for the LX gear here, it'll probably put the forward strut right about here where the screw location using these. So it's going to move this. It's actually going to move the strut probably 3/4 to an inch, I'm guessing, without actually having it mounted. Right there it is. You can get kind of an idea. I've actually got it laid perfectly up on the deal here. Let's zoom in there, so you can see where the strut's going to fall with a further forward sweep. So as I zoom out here, the wheel right here, the wheel now will be, use the other one here, the wheel will probably be out here like this, with a further forward. It'll also close this gap. There won't be this big long gap between the door and that string thing they've got right here. It'll actually close up this gap, so this door will sit closer to the gear, and it'll actually be more like the real plane. It shouldn't be this far away from it. So hope this video is helping some. You can kind of see there, I'm trying to get on top of it and do this real quick. That right there. But they're and these are kind of heavy. These things weigh a little more than I was expecting. I'm actually, that right there, that first indentation, they got to come all the way up to there. That will allow it to be mounted in here without having to cut this right here, which is part of the spar wing folding. It's actually the arm that sticks out for the wing folding and all. Won't have to do that at all, but it'll be right up close to it. And the width of them, from ear tab to ear tab, they're exactly the same as the stock LX. Just pull these out. I'm going to glue epoxy in some basswood blocks, and then just mount it down in there. These are, from here to here, they're about 1/4 inch deeper than the LX. So I'm guessing going to have to hog out some foam down inside there so if they sit down, you know, to the same level that these already are. They might have to sit up just a little higher, but I'm going to know more about that this weekend. But that's what it is. we'll mount them. They'll have to come all the way up forward here. Hog out some foam here, make it a little deeper, and I think the wing, from what I can tell, is going to be thick enough that it won't come too close to the top surface of the wing or break through at all. There they are. Nice, heavy, very robust. These things are sturdy. Not much free play in them. Though once I got it extended here in the pictures, I did notice just a tad bit of wiggle. But it's designed for the robo strut to actually fit down over this and the wire on the inside. And we've all seen these guys. They'll actually separate because they've got that plastic gear that's right there on the inside. You can actually pull this whole strut out of this pivot collar right here. Pull that plastic strut out. This is pretty much solid bar stock right here, up to the point where they've got it hollowed for the spring, which is like right about here, and drill that for a 5/32 wire, just like a robo strut. Put some set screws on it, and I believe that these stock LX struts, which aren't, in my opinion, aren't that bad, mount them on here and mount right directly on top of these. They're definitely going to be lighter weight than the robo struts are. And I think they could be modified and used from an old set of retracts. You've got them. I actually epoxied back in here, but that plastic gear mechanism is, until they can kind of do a revision there. But the drive system is about the same, except that the jack screw on these Wingspan is about 4 times the diameter of this one. Even though this one right here is pretty thick. This looks like 256 thread. The one on the Wingspans are not quite 440, are not quite wing bolt size. They're just a little larger, but it's at least, yeah, it's at least 3 times. So I don't see these stripping out or bending at all. You'd have to really smack them down hard. Okay, I'll try and get this video up on YouTube and get it posted on the groups.